Hi guys, it's Debbie and I'm here to do another acrylic poured painting on an 8x10 canvas. And my paint's all mixed up. All the paints, I think I've been forgetting to mention, all my paints, no matter what kind of paints I use. So if I'm using, when I use my acrylics, if I mix them with water or with the Floetrol or Mod Podge. And I always add, no matter what I'm using, I add a little silicone into the paint. I feel the silicone is probably my biggest reason to get cells and to have the paint separate and allow the other paint come up from the bottom. That's just my thought. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a scientist, but that's what I feel, how it works. Anyways, I started making this video a few minutes ago, and I started pouring my paints in, and I realized it wasn't recording. And so all I did was pour in a red into an old paint cup, so I'm going to bring it back down and get started again. Okay, see, it was the old pour from the last painting I just did. I had a little blue left over. And I just poured in some red. So I think yellow goes good with red. Huh? And I'm going to go back to a little more blue. And I got to put a little white in there. Don't want it to be too dark. I love pink, so let's have some pink. I'm trying to visualize this, although it doesn't do you much good because it's going to turn out the way it wants to. Running low on yellow. And that's, I'm afraid to add too much blue because it's so dark. But what the heck. We'll just add a little more white, won't we? Actually, I think I'm about near the amount I want to use. We'll just add a little touch of white on the top. And then I'm going to take my paints out of the way. You can see on the bottom of my board here, I have paint left over from the very last pour. It's kind of crazy to clean it up. And I don't really mind if it gets on the bottom because there's going to be paint on the bottom anyway, so that's my thought. Anyways, here we go. So far, I like what I see. You can see a lot of different colors coming through. We got some green from the blue and the... See, now I like a lot of the colors over here, so I'm going to hold it this way and let some of that yellow drain off. So we're not some... Sorry about that. I'm going to catch a little of this drained off paint and put it on the edges right now while it's still moving. Oops. We got some red cells popping through. I like that. I'll try to get just a little more paint on there. Okay, let's see. Now what do we want to do to this? This is always a dilemma. You get something going on the top and the bottom. Which one do you keep? You know? It's hard to keep them both. Well, for me it's a little impossible. So I think I wouldn't mind having, this is kind of, I'm going to let that drain a little bit that direction because I find this a little more interesting. So, there we go. Kind of like that right there, actually. Okay. Let's see here. I'll make sure you can see this. I'm so sorry. I went and Hopefully you can see it. For some reason I thought the camera was more over this way. Alright, what I'm going to do after I wipe off my hands is I'm going to hit it with the heat gun, and maybe we can pull out some underneath colors from over here. I don't know if my paintings are too thick tonight. Too thick or maybe I didn't put enough silicone. I do get some cells, and I don't like too many. Sometimes it can distract you from, I don't know, it can get too busy, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I always let my heat gun warm up just for a second before I start hitting it. This is a craft heat gun you can buy. Well, you used to be able to buy them at any craft store. I'm sure you probably can. I've had mine for a long time. You go through spells when you use them a lot, and then I'll go through spells that I'll use something else, torch or even the dryer. So okay, that's about all that's going to happen right now. It's going to do its own thing, I think. And yeah, I'm kind of happy with that one. Let me hold it up so hopefully you can see it. I would love to have some more red, big red ones popping through, but I may not be so lucky. Well, I hope you've maybe learned something, or I don't know. I used to, years and years ago, and before YouTube, I used to enjoy, I loved listening, just listening to Bob Ross. And I would listen to him and fall asleep. Because I always found it so pleasing. I'm going to try to wipe off my hands here and put my painting back on the behind me. I have a drying rack that's level, and I will let it sit and dry for a few days. I'm sure tomorrow I'll pick it up and look at it, but you're going to have to be very careful because usually the paints on these are pretty thick. And it'll take usually a good 2-3 days, maybe more, from the dry. So anyways, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.